Thank you, Mr. Dennis Joseph. Good job at hosting the press briefings daily. To our panelists, and also the Honorable Prime Minister, not immediately here, but I'm certainly in the listening audience, the Minister for Planning, Economic Development and Investment, my minister, all the government officials tuned in, all fellow Dominicans, and everyone else in the listening audience and the media, I say to you a pleasant good morning and a blessed Friday. I can't help but comment on what a lovely morning, a beautiful day it is outside on the island of Dominica, creating such an opportunity for all of us to get on with the task of rebuilding our beautiful country, whether it is the cleaning of debris and disposal, whether it is the drying of laundry, days accumulated after the storm. It may be putting galvanized on roofs. It may be insurance companies carrying out assessments. Whatever you're doing today, it is a great day for us to continue in the recovery effort. Before I proceed, I wish to express heartfelt sympathies to all who have lost loved ones, suffered loss of your homes and properties, or you were otherwise affected or traumatized by the passage of Hurricane Maria. I lend my voice to that of many others in reassuring you that all is not lost and that we are on course for rebuilding a better Dominica than we had before the storm. In today's press briefing, which is geared at dealing with matters related to the building code and applying Build Back principles as we seek to return Dominica to a more sustainable development path, you will hear from the esteemed panelists that we have today with us. We have vowed to do this, that is, rebuilding Dominica to a more sustainable path of development by incorporating disaster risk reduction strategies in our recovery efforts. The ultimate goal is to mitigate or altogether reduce as much as possible the adverse impact of weather events, which we all know can debilitate our economy. As Dominicans, we have experienced firsthand through Hurricane David, Tropical Storm Erica, and now Hurricane Maria, the multiplicity of damages and losses which such events can leave us with. It has become even more critical than ever that we educate the listening public on guiding principles, practices, legislation, and strategies which must all be employed or enforced as we seek to rebuild a better Dominica. In the words of our Prime Minister in his budget address this year, a peaceful, just, and prosperous Dominica. In today's press briefing, we will hear from some of our finest with the knowledge and the expertise in the areas of building codes, physical planning legislation and land use, construction, human settlements, and engineering. It is our hope that the listening public, you in the audience, will be educated and informed, and that the briefing will signal the commencement of a series of public education programs, or pep talks as I call them, to guide homeowners, businessmen, farmers, and other interested parties engaged in the rebuilding of the natural and the infrastructural environment. The experts on the panel here today, as aforementioned by Mr. Dennis Joseph, are my colleague and friend, Mr. Lucien Blackmore, who is PS in the Ministry of Housing, Lands and Water Resource Management, Mr. Kelvin Roll, who is the Chief Physical Planner at the Physical Planning Division of the Ministry of Planning, Economic Development and Investment, and the esteemed Mr. Anthony Burnett Biscombe, a renowned private contractor and entrepreneur and engineer, owning the firm La Robe Creole. At this point, I will now proceed with the panelists into the discussion in order to introduce my esteemed colleagues and professionals to make their contributions on the subject matter at hand. The panelists will each comment with general observations of the impact of Hurricane Maria and then move on to the subject matter, building codes, and other matters related to building back better and repairs of homes and houses damaged by Hurricane Maria, a Category 5 level hurricane which struck the island on September 18, 2017. So, Mr. Joseph, I would like to introduce Mr. Lucian Blackmore, Permanent Secretary, to speak to us, sharing his experiences and also guiding us in the listening audience. Mr. Blackmore.